Hello, everybody. I know I was not planning on going live this early in the morning because I'm going to be live at 11. But I'm here with Dr. Bashi, who's over there, and we're doing just a crepey tummy kind of treatment today. Hi. This is like a bonus because I'm not normally scheduled to do live right now. I'm scheduled to do live in an hour and 20. But I wanted to bring you in the office. So today's live at home is going to be my anti-aging body treatments, right? But there's a lot of stuff that I do in office as well. So, well, I don't know about a lot of stuff. But today, you can tell I'm marked up. Dr. Bashi, here, come here, Dr. Bashi. This is Dr. Bashi. Dr. Bashi came in today, and tell everybody what we did today. Honey, do you want to hold this for me so I'm not having to hold this?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're injecting hyper-dilute radius into the abdomen. As you guys can see here, our objective is to tighten some of the skin. And the hyper-dilute radius is going to kick in about 2 to 3 months, just like Sculptra, very similar concept. And then I'm going to use the radio frequency device, and I'm going to radio frequency over each quadrant of the abdomen. So we're getting the tightening from underneath, we're getting the tightening from over and underneath with the radio frequency. So this treatment works best combining things together. Doing things individually don't work as well as, let's say, doing a surgery. So if you're doing something non-surgically, you need to combine things in order to get the maximum output. And so that's what our plan is today.
Yeah. So right now, so he's already done these injections. So, you know, I don't have filler in my face, and a lot of people think that I do, but I actually have fat transfer, and I do radio frequency underneath, which kind of chisels the face. But this kind of filler that is hyper-diluted, so it's a hyper-diluted radius, works more as a collagen stimulator.
Collagen stimulator. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's going to over time just make that crepiness of the skin so much better, right? So on top of that, then we're doing it's kind of like a Morpheus 8.
We're using the competitor device to Morpheus 8. We're using the Cutera Secret RF, which is basically exactly the same thing. It's like comparing BMW to Mercedes. Some doctors prefer one, some doctors prefer the other. I do have to give credit to InMode. They do really advertise Morpheus a lot, but there are very similar devices out on the market that do the exact same thing, exact same technology. The literature, the data is the same.
Yeah, there you go. So right now, what you injected, the hyper-diluted radius. See, can I touch my stomach? Please. I know I'm a little bit. It's very numb, but this is the issue for me right here because I did grow 3 human beings in this stomach. So once I went through menopause, then this area became a little bit crepey. So yes, at 11 o'clock, we are going to talk about all of my at-home things that I do, all of the devices that I use at home, red light therapy, radio frequency at home, microneedling at home. There's a lot of stuff that goes into trying to get a 55-year-old stomach to be in as good a shape as it's in. But for that last kind of step, there's got to be some sort of, for me anyways, it's a birthday present for myself because I'm about to turn 55. But this crepiness has always bothered me when I stand up or sit down wearing a bikini. So that's what we're just going to try to tighten up that little crepiness a little bit. So, okay, I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride. There is a live today at 11. So even though I'm on here, I wanted to share a body treatment in office as well as what we're going to do at home at 11. So make sure that you guys do join me at 11. And that will be at home, and it's anti-aging body treatment. So I'm just gonna let this run for a little bit while we do whatever. So I'm gonna have my husband.
What I'm gonna do is I want to just inject a little bit more numbing, and we'll basically test to make sure these areas are pretty numb before we do it, and then we'll have the numbing sit for a little bit, and then
because the Secret RF, like the Morpheus, it hurts like a here, honey. Let me get this. Thanks, Kaylee. Kaylee just said happy birthday. My birthday's on Monday. I'll be 55. Okay, so a couple of the things that I've done, I'm always doing stuff at home, which is what the live is going to be about today. Get like a close-up of him doing this. So we're doing he's just numbing the area a little bit.
Are you feeling this or not much?
I don't feel it.
You don't feel this?
I mean, I feel a little bit.
Is it painful?
No.
So that means you're maybe pretty good.
So we're numbing the area with lidocaine just so, ooh, that one hurt a little bit. Just so the Secrets RF, the radio frequency, is going to be a little bit more tolerable, because a lot of people complain that this hurts a lot. And I have always said, like, I don't think they're numbing people enough to do these RFs on the body. What is your thought on that, Dr. Bashi?
I don't think people really numb for the body, but the device, you know, if you've ever had it done on the face or anything like that, it is painful. So it is a good idea to numb. And so what I'm doing now is just going in with a little bit of extra anesthesia. We'll numb. I'm going to let it sit for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to make sure it's really, you feel really comfortable, because numbing takes a little bit of time to really kick in. And then hopefully the procedure is going to be a very comfortable one for you where you're really not feeling much at all. Of course, there's always going to be little spots where, you know, you may not be 100% numb, but the idea is overall, I want to get you generally pretty numb. So
because we're going to go deep on this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we just did the radius, which is more superficial to deal with the crepey skin and to stimulate that collagen. And then the RF, we're going to go through the skin. So it's non-ablative. It's going to go through the skin, and it's going to go. So explain. So does it heat the dermis at a certain level underneath? Is that what the concept of radio frequency is?
We control the depth, and so we control the amount of heat at the amount of depth that we want. So I can pick how many millimeters I want it to heat. I can also control the amount of heat. Obviously, the more numb someone is, the more heat they can tolerate. So if someone is not very numb at all, you know, maybe the external numbing is going to help them with the needle penetration, but the heat portion is going to be very painful. So if she's very, very nicely numb, I'm going to be able to really crank up the device. My plan is to go into kind of like 3 layers. And each layer, think of it as we're putting in like a spherical ball of heat. So the tip comes in, we add that ball of heat. We do that whole layer at that level. The next layer is going to be a little bit more superficial. So if you think about this in a 3-dimensional way, we're adding another ball of heat. And then the last layer, a little bit more superficial than that, we're adding that other ball of heat. So if you can imagine this being like a 3-dimensional rectangle, there's 3 layers where there's like each layer has its own layer of a ball of heat energy placed in that area. And that heat is going to tighten the dermis by creating the necessary trauma to create the rebuilding process.
Awesome. Okay, that's what we're doing today. Okay. So we're still going to be there at 11, but I want to at least show you guys, because I'm going to film some content here too and do an edited video for you guys so you understand everything that we're doing here and what this protocol is for crepey skin. Now, again, there's certain people that are candidates for this and certain people that are not. I'm a candidate because explain why I'm a candidate, because I'm in pretty good shape and I don't have a ton of adipose tissue on my abdomen. So that actually works kind of in my...
Yeah, so the candidacy here is basically we have relatively loose skin. The skin is not super duper thick. And so, just like the face, we're going to get a good response. We are going to inject the product underneath. We're going to radio frequency on top. So this is something I think in this particular case, it's a very realistic scenario for patients that we would select for this procedure. The majority of patients that I do this procedure on fit this kind of mold.
So thin and crepey skin.
Right. And if you can imagine, as you get older, you exercise more. The skin can get a little bit loose. The dermis gets loose. And you want to stay in shape. But unless you develop a lot of adiposity, that skin gets a little bit looser. So generally speaking, the people that are going to do the best with this procedure are going to be people that are going to be on the thinner side, people that exercise a lot, and their real problem is just kind of like the looseness of the skin.
Somebody just said, what about people who still want to have kids? This
has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it doesn't affect that at all.
It doesn't affect that at all. Doesn't affect.
So how many millimeters deep do you think that we're going?
I'll probably go like 3.5, 2.5. I'm gonna do like 3 layers. Each layer is gonna be maybe 3 millimeters, then 2.5, and then 2. Probably I'll do 3, 2.5, and 2 in this particular case because the skin's not super duper thick. So I don't think I need to go lower than 3, and that'll give us a nice treatment.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna just keep you guys on the live for just for him to start the secret RF, and once we start the secret RF, I'll just show you guys kind of what that is. We'll get a close-up of that, and then I'll get off of here so I can create some more content, and I'll see you guys again at 11 at home for all the anti-aging body treatments at home.
So, Darnell, I think we may need to wait a little bit for the numbing to kick in. That's the only thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only little factor that may. I think keeping it on live might be a little tricky because we have to wait 10 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna be here 10 minutes
for the numbing to really do its thing, so you're comfortable.
Okay, so you guys, so I'm not gonna stay on the live then. I'm gonna just create content for you guys so you can see the finished product. You can see everything that I'm doing here today. And I will see you back at 11. So you can kind of just see I've had the hyper-diluted Radiesse already injected, which also contains lidocaine, so it's numbing the area. This treatment works well for people that have crepey skin and not a lot of fat underneath. So sometimes fat is our friend in that it helps with that crepiness, but if you don't have a lot of fat, you've got this loose skin. So he injected the Radiesse, which is going to, over time, over the next 3 months, stimulate that collagen and help that. So Kaylee says, okay, show us results later. I'm going to. I took before pictures. We're going to take some after pictures, probably in a couple months, maybe. And we'll go from there, and you can see what this treatment actually does. And then after this, we're going to do, here's the laser. This is the, this is what we're going to be doing today, and it's an RF, so it's much like the Morpheus 8, which I've also did a video on, and that will help stimulate the collagen and tighten the skin from underneath. So just remember, this is an in-office procedure, and I'm going to be talking about all of my at-home anti-aging stuff that I do for my full body. So we'll be going over red light therapy, we'll be going over microneedling, skincare, different stuff like that, what works and what doesn't. Somebody says, but on the stomach, will still give you rolls that creates wrinkles. No, I mean, the idea is to tighten that skin and make it kind of adhere more to the
we're tightening
muscle. Yeah, it's just skin tightening is what it is. So I will see you guys back at 11 o'clock. For my Instagram live, and so you can get this with major weight loss. Yes, and I just did that live on the Ozempic shot. Remember that from last week? The live on the Ozempic shot. People that are losing weight at a very, very drastic rate, you're more prone to get crepiness in the skin. So yeah, you can get that fat loss and crepiness. Mine is just like I work out like a beast. I've had 3 kids. I'm 55, so I'm dealing with the crepiness on the tummy. So this is an in-office procedure for that. We'll tackle the at-home stuff at 11. I'll see you guys then. Okay, bye.
Logistically, how best to do this.